All right, guys. In this one, we have a, what year is this? 1998, I think it was, or 93. Pontiac Firebird. I actually really like these cars, but the issue with this one is that it does not want to crank. Okay, I did a preliminary check onto the vehicle, and obviously always check the basics. Came over here, check my positive wire. Positive wire's loose. I'm over here, check my negative wire. Look at this. Look at the play on this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna try and fix this up as best as I can. I'm gonna try retighten this one, and we're gonna go from there, because it's for sure with a battery that is not bolted up properly on the positive and negative sides, this car is never gonna start. So let's start with that and we'll see what happens. All right, so quickly, I just added 2 washers in between the post. Why? They don't have the original bolt. So but now it is tight. Tighten up the positive battery terminal. We're gonna go see if this cranks over now. I'm pretty sure it will, but let's see what happens. Oh. So let's get a battery booster on this. All right, booster pack is on. Let's try this again. Oh, that cadence is really not good. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Okay. Might pull out the plug, but it feels like if the engine is not turning over properly. All right. What can we do next? Right, so the next things that we can try, plugs, obviously. We can check for spark, we can check for fuel. I'm gonna scan for codes, that's for sure. This ground, look at this. Oh, guys, I can't make this stuff up. Like, what is this? Like that. It's horrible. All right, so our next step, we're gonna check for fuel, we're gonna check for spark, and we're gonna go from there. My God, this looks horrible. This apparently this car has been to a few garages already, so I'm basically picking up where they left off, if you want. Right now the booster pack is pretty much dead, so it's for sure that I'm not getting full power. AC system has been taken off. Okay, yeah, we're gonna be checking for sure. Gonna check our ignition, we're gonna check our spark. This plug looks brand new, and we're gonna see what exactly is going on. Let's grab a scanner, put a scanner on this, or we might just flash for codes, actually, because I don't think any of my scanners can actually read anything onto this. I don't have all my plugs here for my hotel, so oh boys. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. All right, check for spark, check for fuel, and go from there. All right, so very quick check. This isn't the best setup. I can't find most of my tools for some reason. Right, so found my test light. It was in my box. I knew I had put it there. So I have it set up right now on battery ground. We're gonna check for a spark, and if we have no spark, then we're gonna chase down a no spark issue. All right, and we're also, like I said, I can't really scan for codes, but we're gonna check a few other little things. I don't know if you guys will be able to see in there. See if zoom in, maybe. Yeah, you guys can pretty much see. There's no spark whatsoever coming out of that. All right. So no spark equals no spark. So powers and grounds at the coil will be checked. Want to make sure that everything is there that is supposed to be there. After that, gonna locate where the crank sensor signal is on this. We're gonna verify our crank sensor signal, and we are gonna go from there. So I'm gonna locate the wiring for this, for the ignition coil, the igniter. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, so our control module is right there. We have a main power and ground that is underneath, which means all this has to come off. So I can get to it, but we're gonna check our powers and grounds. So let's get to it. So I don't think I had to go too far. The trigger wire for the coil is actually broke. So we're gonna try to see if we can't fix that. I don't know how we're gonna fix that, but we're gonna try our best and see if I can't get a wire onto it. Oh, well, I'm an idiot. Never mind that. Because that power and ground actually comes from inside, which would be this one. So where do they have it? They probably have it spliced, which they do. This is this OEM or not? Yeah, let's check for power and ground at this. And all the pins are completely open. Look at this. You know when you start doing testing and 26,000 people have been touching it? Not good. I wish I had my stand. I don't have my stand today. Apologize for that, guys. Try to get you guys in here with one hand so I can test the power and ground, right? I don't have power and ground on this side. Power or ground, I should say. Ground, which is good. Let's check for power. I got no power. So, give you guys a view of that. I'm going to check in the wiring diagram and I want to see what's going on, but that doesn't light, that doesn't light, that doesn't light, and that doesn't light. So there's no power going in. My test light is connected properly. If I find a power, I should light, and I'm not. Alright, let's check on this side. Nothing, nothing, and nothing. Alright, so let's chase down this power issue. Oh, my fingers are in the way. Alright, so let's chase down this power issue at the coil, the igniter circuit at least, and because that power actually feeds the coil too. So we got a power on the ground and then a trigger that is broken right now. So let's see what we can do about fixing that and see which wires are which. Alright, so let's quickly go over this wiring diagram. I kept referring to the pink wire as my trigger wire, and I was completely wrong on that. I really thought it was the trigger wire because it was the only single wire going to a single connector, but that was not the case. The pink wire is actually my power feed, which also feeds the ignition control module. So this pink wire had no power onto it, and we had no power on this pink black wire down at the ignition control module. So obviously we're going to check and make sure that the fuse is okay, which is why I put a little number 1 here. All right, number 2, we have a broken wire here which has to be corrected. We had no power down here, and we have to remember that every single little pin on the ignition control module was damaged. What we do know is that our ground is okay, which comes down to this G102. So I'm not too worried about the ground circuit on any other part of this ignition circuit, but we are going to be worried about this power wire. We're going to get this connector fixed as best as we can, and from there keep on going with our diagnostics. If we are able to restore power to the ignition control module, I'm pretty sure we will get spark, but let's start with that. All right, so took the pigtails, I fixed all the pins inside the pigtails. This pigtail down here is they ordered one and it's gonna be in this afternoon. We're gonna check and make sure that there's spark now. I haven't cranked it over. Gonna bring you guys along. I have everything set up. Let's see if we have spark. If we do, we're gonna try to see if we can't get this beast of a car started. Okay, so get you guys zoomed in onto the coil so we can take a look at this. All right, here we go. Keys on, and we have spark. So that is actually very, very good news. I don't know if the car is going to start, but having spark is a good step, right? So we're going to take the coil now, and we're just going to plug it back into its spot over here. Yes, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see, but it's all the way down there at the distributor. Now, just because we have spark does not mean that the distributor is set right. Apparently a bunch of garages have played in this, so, and I haven't really done anything to this car yet except for fix a few pigtails. Typically that is what happens when a vehicle hits a few shops. Okay, let's make sure that this gets connected in there properly. All right, I have the MAF sensor unplugged, but if it fires up, that's all that matters right now. There we go. Okay, we are connected. The pigtail down here, like I said, is really poorly repaired. I had to grind down the sides of the pigtail connector because it's actually molded into the system. But let's see what we have. Key on. And there we go. Like I said, no MAF sensor right now, so I can't do what it's supposed to, but the car does run. So problem number one, battery not connected. Problem number two, pigtails need to be replaced. And from there, this car will work perfectly. Well, perfectly, I don't know. It wasn't starting and I was only called to get the car started. So let's turn it off, plug up the MAF sensor and see how it really runs. All right, so got it fired up. It is running perfect, except for all the smoke that is actually coming out the back of the vehicle. You're not really seeing it, but you can kind of see it right there. So that's it on this one. I'm gonna put everything back together, and I got another Firebird to go check out over there, a big red one. So apparently that one has a mist to it, has spark, it has fuel apparently, but we're gonna double check everything to make sure that everything is running properly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time.